Let me go ahead and get this thing right. Let me get it together. No intro needed. I can't wait. I cannot wait for this season to start. I know we just drafted players 2 weeks ago. I understand. But I cannot wait for this season to start. The amount of disrespect that's happening right now within our own division, warranted. Warranted. Rightfully so. Deserved for the most part because of what we put on screen for the past 2 seasons. For the past decade, if you want to take out 2 playoff appearances. But I can't wait for this season to start, man. The levels of disrespect is uncalled for, in my opinion, especially right now. And I can't wait to talk trash again. I got a little tease. I got a little glimpse of what it could be in 2022 when we were winning games and with 7-2. You know what? I jumped out the window. I went crazy and it felt good. Even though I fell flat on my face, it felt good. 2023 happened. 2024 happened. Like an ostrich, I had to stick my head back into the sand. It's crazy. But no, not this season coming up. Not when I look at this defense like, okay, Dex. Okay, Brian Burns. Okay, Javon Holland. Okay, Carrot K. Okay, Tibbs. Okay, Abdul Carter. Okay, Polson Adebo. Okay, Micah McFadden. Okay, Darius Alexander. Okay, Chauncey Golston. Not when I'm looking at this defense right now. I can't wait to spin the block. I cannot wait to spin the block on these people. On these other fan bases, I cannot wait to be able to talk my trash again. I'm collecting infinity stones and I'm talking trash again. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's going to be very, 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 very disrespectful, though. Because a lot of these other teams' fan bases deserve to be disrespected. The way y'all been disrespecting, I woke up this morning, right? Woke up this morning, wiped the cold from my eyes, see who's this paging me and why. I look at my phone. And I knew last night before I went to bed something was going to happen because shout out to Pretty Ricky. Pretty Ricky said, guess what's going to happen? George Pickens is going to the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to let us know in the morning. Guess what they did? They let us know in the morning. And here's one thing. I see other people out there disrespecting Pretty Ricky. Pretty Ricky was first with the announcement. I don't care what anybody says. Pretty Ricky was first. But anyway, George Pickens gets traded to the Dallas Cowboys for pennies. You guys know me. You guys know that Mrs. Dash is a Steelers fan. I couldn't wait for her to wake up this morning. Just so I can look at it and tell her, guess what your team did last night? So the Dallas Cowboys now have George Pickens. And you know what? I went on a little rant on Twitter this morning. I put out a couple of posts. And then I thought about it and continued to think about it. Went on until my work day, came home and still thought about it some more. I don't care that the Dallas Cowboys have George Pickens. I don't care. Is he going to be good for the Dallas Cowboys? Probably. I'm looking at the NFC East. Dallas got CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. Okay. The Philadelphia Eagles got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Okay. The Washington Commanders got Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuels. It's been such a long offseason, I forgot the Commanders had Deebo Samuels. I'm looking at posts from PFF and whatever other sports social media account is out there. Oh, the NFC East is deep when it comes to wide receivers. They had 6 wide receivers there. On the graphic, there's 6 wide receivers, and not one of those guys was Malik Neighbors. Highly disrespectful. Highly, highly disrespectful. So what did I do? I sit back. I grab my phone. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put out this. I'm going to type this. I said, nah, forget it. Forget it, because you know what's going to happen? I'm going to get my chance to spin the block. Y'all can have all of these weapons. Y'all can have all these wide receivers for your quarterback. But that is the exact reason why the Giants did what they did when it came to the draft and when it came to free agency. They addressed the defense. They addressed getting pressure on the quarterback, because it's not just about the cornerbacks, the DBs and stuff covering these wide receivers. It's about the front getting to the quarterback. And right now on paper, the Giants can get to the quarterback. So when I'm thinking about the new addition to the Dallas Cowboys, George Pickens, when I'm thinking about the wide receiver duos in the NFC East, I'm thinking about my defense, and I'm like, you know what, Shane Bowen, you better cook. There's no excuses for you at all. And if you mess up, you already got somebody on the defensive staff that has been a defensive coordinator before that will take your place. No excuses for Shane Bowen. I don't care if we're just talking about paper or not. There are no excuses for Shane Bowen. This defense better be cooking from jump. From week one, from training camp moving forward, this defense better look like A+++++++. That's how this with some of the names on this defense, the way you're building this team together, not just a group of guys anymore, the way that you're building this team together, there's no excuses for Shane Bowen. You got Marquand Manuel staring down your back. He's been a DC before, under Dan Quinn. He knows what it's like to be aggressive. Now, I will say this, though. When I'm looking at some of these matchups, like a lot of Giants fans say, oh, yeah, we got Poston Adebo on CD Lamb and Tay Banks on George Pickens. Listen, it's not even about those matchups. And if we're being totally honest here, if I'm keeping it 1,000, if I'm keeping it real with you guys, in one-on-one matchups, we still got some problems. But it's not just about the one-on-one matchup. It's about getting to the quarterback. And when I look at Jaden Daniels, when I look at Dak Prescott, whenever he comes back, when I look at Hurts, we can get to the quarterback. And if we can rattle those guys, it doesn't matter who's on the outside. Same thing goes for the New York Giants as well. But they need to put some respect. First, you need to put some respect on Malik Neighbors. I was going back and forth with a Philly fan today, and I told him, I said, you know what, you can have it. You can have the argument. I felt like it was going to get out of hand. I stopped it after 2 replies. The man put a top 6. He had a top 6 wide receivers in the NFC East, and Malik Neighbors was 5th on the list. Malik Neighbors was 5th on the list. How many teams are in the NFC East? 4 teams. How is Malik Neighbors 5th on your list? The disrespect has to stop. The disrespect has to stop. And the only way you stop the disrespect is with this 2025 season. Listen, everybody wants to go to the Super Bowl. Everybody wants to go to the playoffs. Everybody wants to be in the big dance. This season for the New York Giants, above all, first things first for the New York Giants in 2025 is getting your respect back. Getting your respect back is the number one priority for the New York Giants in 2025. That's first. Being physical is first. Stopping the run is getting after the quarterback. The defense is first. Getting that handle is first. That's the most important thing that the New York Giants can do in 2025, in my opinion, right now. Once you get the defense right, everything else will fall into place. Now, people can talk about the offense. I don't even want to talk too much about it. This is just a rant real quick. Maybe not even real quick. I'm already like 9 minutes in. I can't wait to spin the block on the entire NFL. I can't wait for the schedule to drop next week. I'm most likely going to do a special live when the schedule drops. When we get the release, a lot of Giants content creators are going to do it. And I just remember how I felt. I remember how I felt 2 months ago about this season. One of the hardest schedules for the year. And I did see the rankings that came out today. I believe there's a graphic. I'll throw it up if I can find it. The New York Giants have the the hardest schedule in 2025. And how I felt 2 months ago is not how I feel right now. Looking at this list of teams, maybe the masses don't believe it. Maybe a large portion of the Giants fans don't believe it. Maybe all of the fans don't believe it, but I know that's a lie because I was in the spaces today and there's some confidence building within the Giants community. And it all stems from what we've been doing for this defense. And no matter what these other teams do, no matter what players they add, I'm thinking about the New York Giants and what we added. And I'm loving what this team is looking like on the defensive side. The respect will come. Games got to be played, but I believe that the respect will come, and I think it will come early. First couple of weeks of the season, depending on how the schedule falls, and again, we'll talk about that next week once the schedule drops. But man, I cannot wait for this 2025 New York Giants to get out on the field. I cannot wait for it. There's a lot of people with chips on their shoulders. There's a lot of people on contract years. There's a lot of people that have something to prove on this team, and they all play key positions. They all play key positions. And I cannot wait to see what the New York Giants do in 2025. That's my rant, man. I'm sick and tired of the disrespect. I understand we got a hard schedule, but guess what? The New York Giants are definitely ready to ball. And with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And for one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knowles, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.